Jake, don't run off. Congressman, we thank you.
Anytime, Brew, anytime.
Brock, appreciate the suggestion.
Brock.
Fine job, do your father. Ship off the old block. Irresistible force, immovable object, deadlock. Fine job.
Thank you, Mr. Lincoln. Thank you.
Fine job. I nearly went under. Good man, that Brock.
Is it over yet? What's the story? How's it over?
Boys, give me a chance to tell you. No questions. I have a statement to make.
Give him a chance. Give him a chance.
Boys, I have a statement to make. We have reached, finally, a settlement. After a long and crippling strike, severe in its effects on both management and labor, not to mention the business community and the public. A formula has been arrived at, which, after some minor details have been worked out, is acceptable to the companies which publish and to the men and women who put out this great city's great newspapers. Tomorrow, the people will have their newspapers back again. All of them.
I heard there was a deal to raise the price of the papers to 10 cents. Is there any truth to that?
Any information on that has to come from the publishers themselves. You have my statement.
Once more for the cameras. Once more for the cameras.
We have reached, finally...
Shorter hours, longer vacations. What is this business coming to, Brew? What are you going to do? Raise your lineage rates?
You've only got the Daily Light to worry about. I've got a whole chain, not only the Standard.
I'd hate to raise the price of the paper to 10 cents. You know what the Light cost when I first went into the business? 2 cents. Everything else going up, 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 up. Subway fares, telephone calls, price of bourbon. Might not be a bad idea at that. But we've got to give the readers something extra for the money, you know, Brew. What are you going to do? Give them more contests, picture puzzles, comic books, a course of language lessons, a set of encyclopedias, or perhaps we might give them a little news for a change, huh, Brew?
Oh, we do what we have to do, you do what you have to do. I've got a better idea, eh?
Put the Light out of business, huh?
No. Just own it. How much for the Daily Light, Link?
Sell the Daily Light brewer to a Bedford chain? Why, an independent paper is a pearl beyond price.
Everything has its price, Link.
And a chain is what prisoners wear.
That's a nice line, Link. You save it for an editorial if you're still writing your own. Or better still, put it on page 1, the day the Light goes under. The offer still stands, Link. Paper, property, personnel. I'll buy the Light.
To extinguish it.
Series? What series?
Battlefront, New York?
Oh, yes, very interesting. Mr. Brock, fill me in. Something we discussed during the strike negotiations.
No, sir. Actually, this goes back before the strike. I mentioned it to your managing editor, and he seemed very enthusiastic about it. He promised me that he'd call it to your attention.
Oh, yes, of course. Forgive me, a complete blank. The damn strike drove everything out of my mind. President's War on Poverty. A series on one of the battlefields of that war. New York City. Not bad.
Well, we couldn't use all of New York. Naturally, it's too big. What we did was take a particular congressional district, sort of an isolation ward of urban problems of the whole nation, all the fronts of the whole war. Now, what I tried to do was to lay out 12 specific individual areas of coverage for the dailies, and then, 2 general things for Sunday.
Hold it. Juvenile delinquency, dope addiction, bad schools, bad housing, bad welfare, bad medical care. The lame, the halt, the blind, the unemployed.
Yes, you could put it that way, but I propose, through a casework approach, actually through a personal approach, to show how people get caught.
A weary, downbeat, depressing, pick-on-the-scab of society series. 2 weeks of misery and woe.
Mr. Bedford, a newspaper has a responsibility.
To sell papers. Mr. Brock, this series won't sell any papers. People have this in their own backyard, on the front sidewalks. We've got to get them reading again about something outside of the daily routine.
Comic strips?
Among other things, yes. It may surprise you to know that we intend to run 6 weeks of the people's favorite comic strips, to bring them up to date on what they've missed. So, you see, space-wise,
War on Poverty, that...
we won't be able to run your series, not at this juncture. Some other time.
Mr. Bedford, a lot of hard work has gone into this thing. A lot of people want to cooperate on it. A lot of organizations are willing and waiting to publicize it.
Mr. Brock, I don't want it. I don't need it, and I'd be a fool to run it. And nobody, whatever else they've called me, have called me a fool. Well, the paper for you is the Light. It's right up their alley, and I use the word alley advisedly. They need the circulation, not to mention the free material. Sure. Go and see the Light.
Thank you, sir. I have.
Go on. I could be in the middle of Times Square with John Philip Sousa's band, marching over my chest and still write my editorial. Get to the point.
Well, that's about it, sir. We tie a New York neighborhood into the national war on poverty.
Hanson's district.
Yes, sir.
Why?
Well, it's like a microcosm. We win here, we win everywhere. We lose here.
What does my managing editor think of it?
Well, he says it's entirely up to you.
Cliff! Come on in here, will you? Never go over my top man's head. Cliff, what do you think? Run this?
I can't see it, Link.
Why not? Good case histories here, huh, Brock? Real people. Take a good swipe at City Hall. Congress, too.
Before the strike, yes, I'd have jumped at it. Now, not if they paid us to run it.
Hanson?
That's right. One of my objections, Link. No hard feelings, but you've got him built into every one of those pieces, right? Could be interpreted as political publicity.
I hardly think that's the case, Mr. Shaw. It just happened that I know that district better, that's all.
Oh, you'd write it.
Well, that was my thought, yes.
Even worse. Your name means nothing on a series except as one of Congressman Hanson's people. I'm not going to run it. We're not in business to make a congressman look good in an election year.
You running errands for someone, Mr. Brock?
Well, no, sir. They let me have an idea or two of my own once in a while, especially in the area of social welfare.
What do you want to come peddling over here for, anyway? Standard's got the circulation. Brew Bedford show you the door?
Yes, sir, that's about it. You see, there isn't quite enough sweetness and light in the president's war on poverty. As far as the Standard is concerned, everybody should go right on sailing on the good ship Lollipop and smile, smile, smile.
Well...
But I happen to think that a newspaper is a little more than a framework for comic strips and crossword puzzles and detergent ads. I think a newspaper has responsibility.
Mr. Brock, don't lecture me on journalism. I had 6 honest serving men before you were born.
I beg your pardon?
I had 6 honest serving men. They taught me all I knew. Their names were what and where and when and how and why and who.
But you still don't want to do the series.
Why should we?
Because if you don't do it, nobody else will. Because it's the kind of thing that, no matter whether my name's on it or not, or whether Representative Hanson is connected with it or not, it's the kind of thing that a lot of people need to know. Look, Mr. Lincoln, it's hard to explain this, but as far back as I can remember personally, The Light has hit hardest on the issues that mean more to most people.
No soft soap from total strangers.
All right, I know it sounds like that, but I'll tell you one thing. My old man used to read your newspaper. Used to come home. He used to read it out loud, you know, with his lips, with his finger. Like that. He'd say, everybody don't care what happens to Sandog. Everybody don't care what happens down there underneath the river. They don't care how we live or work or choke or die. But the Light prints the whole story. Other papers, good to wrap garbage in. But the Light prints the truth.
1931. Tunnel expose. There's the man that wrote it.
You spoke to my father.
I don't know. I don't know. Times have changed. Bedford's beating us in circulation, lineage. I suppose you've heard that we're slipping. We thought of contests, giveaways. We got to think of something for that extra nickel. Now you come along with this. Cliff, what'll we do?
What sells papers?
Never go over your top man's head.
Bill, copy. Wait a minute, Mr. Shaw. Wait, just a second, please. Mr. Lincoln, what sells papers isn't only news, it's people that make news. Isn't that right?
Always has. Names make news.
Then let's get back to that name that keeps bothering you, Hanson.
Mr. Brock.
Listen, Representative Hanson is not a bad guy to have on your
Mr.
side.
Brock, we wear no man's collar. Punches are called for, we give them.
All right, I'm not talking about your editorial policy. I'm talking about straight news reporting. Look, what do you say we do this? Let's run it straight without Hanson's name woven in it.
Still the kiss of death at this point.
Wait a minute. First we expose the problems, then we do another series. Exclusive interviews with a man who's going to be our next governor or sit in the Senate of the United States.
The man's right. Hanson has his eye on the White House. Exclusive?
Exclusive. First the problems, then what Congress is going to do about the problems. Right from those committee rooms, those cloakrooms, where they're writing the laws, where they're setting up the command posts and the battle lines for the whole bloody war.
Just Hanson?
I'll go further than that. Not only do you get it exclusive, but you can service every single independent newspaper in the whole country. Material they can't get from the wire services, those syndicated trained seals.
It's the same main course, even though the dessert is just peachy.
Run it.
Later, Link. Once the circulation is up, the ad department...
Doesn't run the lights. Start working on it, announce it. House ads.
Yeah, we've got plenty of space for those.
Sides of the trucks. Page 1, boxes, run it. Center folder open. Get in touch with the other independents. Great idea. Put Charlie Burns on it.
Charlie's on the school page.
Kill the school page.
Never go over your top man's head, just over his dead body. It better be good.
All I'm trying to say is, who needs the out-of-town independent newspapers? That's all.
Not right today. Aren't you the guy that's always talking about projecting a long-range image?
Look, Neil, the political facts of life are far, far beyond the ken of the neighborhood social hotshot. You want to know who needs the out-of-town newspapers? The out-of-town candidates, that's who, the local favorite sons. I mean, here we have John W. Candidate of South Flash Bog, Indiana. Huh? And he picks up his newspaper, and he reads all about it, all about some New York Weisenheimer, yeah. Got all the answers to everything, and he makes a little note in his mind. Watch Hanson.
Exactly.
And he'll kill you in your own territory. Look, Neil, a little thing like this, just like this, can do more harm to me than a divorce case or a deep freeze or a doxy in Georgetown. Huh?
It is not a little thing, Charles. It's the broadest base you could possibly have and finest platform for your ideas in this whole city.
Let me enlighten you about that platform. Hereinafter referred to as the Fading Light. It's a very shaky newspaper, financially, circulation-wise, image-wise, lineage-wise, every other kind of wise. I'm afraid your sacred light is flickering. Well, you got me tied up with a loser.
Look, you know how it kills me to blow my own horn. But when the old Courier ran my Grunt and Groan series about the evils of the Department of Welfare...
You got canned.
Yeah, I got canned, but their circulation went up 10,000 in one day in the CWS district alone. And by the end of the series, it was up 70-odd thousand.
All reliefers.
Well, they read newspapers, most of them. And they buy groceries, and they vote for congressmen. Besides, nobody can tell me that the light is a loser, not until I see it in black and white. Even if it is a loser, wouldn't it be a good idea for you to try to make it into a winner? Isn't that a worthwhile challenge? Isn't that worth a gamble? Or is the President's War on Poverty just a slogan? I mean, I'd like to know before I enlist.
Look, you go right ahead and enlist. Go right ahead and do that. I just prefer that you check with me next time before you volunteer me for something. Engage brain before releasing top. And one more thing. If that ship of yours goes under with me standing on the deck shouting, "Down with poverty," I'm not the only one around here who's going to look very bad. Just please make that series of yours a good one.
Growing mail. We're running 10,000 on the last week.
Good, good.
Well, what's the next installment? I want to plug it over the weekend.
Well, Charlie and I dug up some stuff that I wrote in the Department of Public Welfare a couple of years ago.
Yeah, his idea, Cliff, a doozy. Believe it or not, 9 out of the 12 or so gripes against the system are still uncorrected.
Lovely. Get after them. Take Charlie to all the same places, quote the same people.
If they're alive, they're kicked.
Fine. And if they died, find out if anything welfare didn't do might have prevented it. Neil, I'll put it in writing. It's good. It's real good. You can tell Hanson a broken-down old newspaper man said so.
They really said this down at the redevelopment office?
Mm-hmm. And more. Why?
Oh, I don't doubt the accuracy of the statement, but you wouldn't mind softening this a bit, would you? And after all, these people usually do a pretty good job.
Well, we point that out.
So will I. Well, where do we go from here?
Down to the welfare department with 20 questions and a stick of dynamite.
Do you gentlemen mind telling me what this is doing to the circulation?
Shall we tell him?
I don't know, Charlie. I don't know.
Well, all right, Neil. You tell him.
No, Charlie, I think you better tell him.
Gee whiz. Neil. Do you think we ought to?
All right. What's the bad news?
10,000 jump in circulation on the first 3 segments and still going up.
Wow, now you really are putting me on.
No, sir. What's more, the advertising department thinks we might go an extra 8 pages next week to take care of the department store layouts at Warden, and that's not all.
I now pronounce you a happy couple. I'll see you later.
Hello, Link. Oh, hello, Brewer. Thank you. Don't mind if I do. Thought it over?
I don't want to sell.
I'm not talking want to. Talking have to.
Don't have to.
Because your misery series has upped your circulation 10,000 in one district?
Extending our series may cover all the boroughs. Get the feeling our oats, we might take in Nassau and Westchester, too. 10,000 here, 10,000 there.
You horse trading with me, Link? Trying to tell me the old nag will still run? Up the price a little bit? All right. Let's talk money.
I won't sell.
$5 million.
You can buy the light anytime you want to, Brewer. All you have to do is pick it up on the stands for 10 cents. Nice to have lunch with you. Let's do it again.
That's one thing. Now I want a couple of men on the story to be set up and type in 48 hours. Full page with art. Handle it as an obituary.
I think we're doing fine.
Oh, you do, just because we're piddling 10,000 circa.
Yeah.
Neil, the newspaper business, and it is not a game, it is a business, feeds on the lifeblood and ambition of youth. Which is why, in my dotage, I am a rich speechwriter for a rich congressman instead of a poor rewrite man for a poor newspaper. The newspaper business is an iron mistress, Iron Maiden. You know the Iron Maiden?
I never met her.
Well, anyway, the Daily Light was my iron mistress. my lady love, and I left her. I used to work there. Now, I think she's on her last legs, series or no series. Here today.
And black coffee tomorrow.
Oh, hi, Paul. Well, hello, and how do you do, Martin? Neil Martin Powers of the Unmentionable Standard. Martin, Neil Brock, Chuck Hansen's assistant. You got a minute, Bo?
I'll go.
Oh, it's all right. He's practically an old newspaper man himself.
Yeah, I know. Comedy series. Good stuff.
Yeah, Martin. I'm not accustomed to appearing in public with men of the Standard. One has to draw a line somewhere, but inasmuch as you were with me on the light, just this once, huh? What are you working on now, Martin?
Well, at the present, an obituary.
Shades of Joseph and all the little Pulitzers. What did you do? Get the Bedford line into a libel suit? I'll drink to that. Amo, once more around.
Nothing like that. Not obits plural, just obits singular.
Accuracy, terseness, accuracy. What is so singular about the obituary upon which you are presently engaged, if I may make so bold?
Oh, come on now, Bo. It's not the obituary of a person.
Animal, vegetable, mineral? Is it alive?
And just. But after tomorrow, the death watch begins.
Martin, the reports of the light's imminent demise are highly exaggerated.
Not after tomorrow. Nate Maltman and I are working on a full-page obit of the light.
He's an old light man, too. I think I'd better go call Cliff Shaw.
He'll know. Everybody'll know.
Head for the hills, man. The dam is busted.
That was a nice spread your friend Brock planted in the light, Chuck.
Well, thank you very much, Brew. You could have had that, you know.
It was too soon after the strike for that sort of thing.
Sour grapes. Well, I understand the light's giving you a pretty good run for your money in the stands these days.
It's not a run. It's a good sprint. But credit where credit's due. It's a nice, enterprising feature. But Brock stuff, pure bleeding heart. It's your material that I like. You writing it yourself?
Well, Bowen Monroe is helping me. He's another alumnus of the light, you know.
Tell you what I'll do. I'll run it in the Standard. Give you a better break than Lincoln. Center fold.
Aren't you the one? First of all, you drop back to a nickel. Now you want to grab off the series.
I didn't say that.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the way I heard it.
Come on, Charles. The only thing that you're interested in is how many people you can reach with that image that you're trying to project. And don't give me any prepared speech about the responsibility of the press. I've heard them all. I've even made a few myself.
What about my responsibility to Brian Lincoln? What about that?
Can you add 1 and 1?
Yes.
Yeah. How many people did you reach in the light yesterday? I'll tell you. A full press count of 600,000. Ours was 925,000.
Now, look, Brew, a man can't decide between two papers on the basis of numbers alone. How many of your readers read?
I'm not asking you to decide. I'm willing to settle for a simultaneous run. Both papers.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, I'll give you an easy way to decide.
Huh?
How much is 600,000 and 900,000? That's 1.5 million readers every day, all for free.
No.
You surprise me. The light's sinking, and you know it.
Huh, well, you surprise me. I think everyone knows what kind of an animal leads a sinking ship.
Well, I tried.
Well, just what were you thinking in terms of, Link?
We'll say something on the order of a 3-month extension on the last loan. Or a consolidation of all of them. Newsprint, payment on the new trucks, the color press, and then a fresh $250,000. $500,000 would be better. Got to have working capital, Sam. Then you're the banker. It's your business. Anything to keep going till we pick up the lineage rates.
Just a minute, just a minute. I'm the banker. I am not the bank. I'll look into an extension link.
I'd rather have the extra cash.
It was mine to give you to have it on your word, but a bank has to have collateral.
How about the building?
Now you're talking. Sell the damn white elephant to some syndicate and then lease it back. Get enough cash to keep going.
Knew you'd come up with something, Sam. Keep it on the QT, though, right?
I'm the soul of circumspection. I'm a banker. All the same, Link. Who are you trying to fool?
Nobody. We're not dead yet. Take a look at our new circulation figures. Why, we picked up 50 or 60,000 last week in Hanson's district alone. Here, how'd you like to read these letters from the battlefront? Why, I'd sooner get letters like these than a Pulitzer Prize. I got one, anyway.
How long do you think you can keep going at 10 cents? I thought you and Bedford had an agreement.
Gentleman's agreement, but then he's no gentleman, just a publisher. No hard feelings. Standard's only worth a nickel anyway, if that. How soon do I hear about that loan, Sam?
Just as soon as I can get to my board of directors with the proposition. Now, I'll do all I can for you.
See you soon, Sam. Make it soon, Sam. You like the series so far, wait till you see the rest of them. Right now, things are looking better and better. Best time's worth in town. It's a good piece you wrote, Cliff. Good. But your paragraphs are getting a little too long. People read that have to spell it out. Mr. Brock, that new segment on welfare. Can't you do any better than this?
I thought it was pretty good.
Oh, fine stuff's fine. That Hanson material's just a little, wishy-washy. You did better than that before. Couldn't you get him to heat it up a little,
No, sir, we tried. I think that's as strong as he cares to make it.
Yeah. All right. Cliff, you got trouble written all over you and 48 cap. Spell it out.
Just lost the municipal ads, Link. Property auctions, tax lien sales, sheriff sales.
What do you mean, lost?
Canceled. The works. Civil service exam notifications, everything. 2 solid pages. Schofield's source down at City Hall says the pressure to cancel came from the welfare people.
Well, that makes no matter. They've got to print it. It's public information. The public shall be informed. They've got to place them. Call the lawyers?
I did. The ordinance reads, in any daily news medium. Not all, just any.
2 pages. Bad. Did you call welfare?
Spoke to an unofficial official off the record. He allows us, Howie, just as soon not see the next piece run if it's more the same. Undermining public confidence.
What'd you tell him?
I told him to read tomorrow's piece.
I wish you hadn't done that. I've just been having a session at the bank about the loan. It's a bad time to use lineage. Okay, run it. I might pick up some circulation on the cancellations at that. Put it in a box on page 1. City resents, welfare barbs, cancels, ads. Get them real mad down there.
I wouldn't do that, Link. Don't advertise our own problems.
Never go over your top man's head. Okay, run it. Mr. Brock, how do you like the newspaper business, huh?
Well, I know enough about it to know that it's not a game.
And having yourself a good time, though, huh?
Yes, sir, I have to admit that.
Bigger and better windmills to tilt at, huh?
Something like that, yes, sir.
You think that's what the newspaper is for, huh?
Well, that's the kind of newspaper I like. The Light is a good newspaper, in my book.
Some book. Would I shock your idealistic soul if I was to tell you it's the book with the cash entry lines that counts nowadays? You've been having a romance with the Iron Maiden. You've never been married to her, for better or worse. And the worst is yet to come. Since when did I read the opposition first?
When they pull a fast one like this.
Brock, a question in simple arithmetic.
Us, Battlefront, New York, Representative Hanson speaks. Them, Frontline, New York, Representative Hodges.
2 newspapers on the stand. One, 32 pages, costs a dime. The other, 48, costs a nickel. But you buy the 10-center because it carries something for you that the 5-cent job doesn't have. Then you discover the 5-center carries the same dingy-dong thing that you paid 10 cents for yesterday.
It's not the same thing at all. Hodges is no Hanson.
Maybe not, but Bedford's trained seals will make them sound like one.
What kind of a fool would go on paying a dime for what you could get for a nickel? No hard feelings, huh? 30 years ago, I'd have done the same thing. Did worse to the opposition in my day. Well, where do we go from here?
Back to our board of directors. I won't have any trouble convincing them.
Well, what is all this?
Contract of sale. I had it drawn up as soon as the strike started.
Well, names, personnel, property, tangibles. The Light is a good name, eh?
Damn best name in journalism, Link. Frankly, that's all I want.
Yes, your chain could use that. But I'm not here to fight with you, Drew, or to beg either, but I've got to have my personnel, jobs for them. I've got a line of typers, pressmen, compositors. Well, I've known most of them since they were pups. And you take Cliff Shaw, best city managing editor ever. And Schofield, why, he knows City Hall like the inside of his pocket. He was the one that broke that story on Mayor O'Brien, you know. By quoting him word for word, laughed him right out of office.
So I've heard. Now, I can't make any promises, Link, but we're going to extend our coverage and up the features. Don't you worry about your people. There's always a job for a good newspaper man.
Yes, but not many good newspapers to get jobs on. Well, we'll look this thing over.
Don't be too long.
Well, don't rush me, Brew. Don't push me. After all, I've got to go over this thing with a fine-tooth comb. Well, I'm not so sure about that building, you know. It's a mighty valuable property. After all, you're not dickering with a dead horse, you know. What is it old Mehitabel said? There's many a dance in the old dame yet. Well, now, Brew. Now, under your hats, huh? Just between you and I. The board of directors, yes, but I've got to get jobs for my people. I've got to get that placed, you know.
We'll work that out. Now, as far as this conversation is concerned, it's only between the two of us.
Good, good. They'll never hear anything from me. Brew?
Rose. Brew Bedford here. Here's one for Harry's column tomorrow. What daily newspaper fading since the strike has only 24 hours to shine? Yeah, that's S as in Sam, H as in Harry, I as in Ida. That's right. Shine.
Come in, Charlie. You care for some coffee?
Yeah, I don't mind if I do.
Well, what's the matter? My head on crooked? Have you seen this? Oh, that. I'd set one foot in the grave, the other one tap dance on the edge since the memory of man running to the contrary. You know that, bull.
Well, Mr. Shine, that sounds kind of serious.
Oh, ain't it always, Mabel? Who's after it this time? Brew Bedford?
That's my understanding, yes.
Well, could happen.
How do you feel about that?
Familiar. A congressman, of the 8 or 10 papers I've served time on, I've had 4 shot out from under me. Would you believe I was once a gentleman on the Boston transcript? Police of the Providence Tribune, rewrite on the White Plains Dispatch, general assignment for the Sun. Oh, by golly, 5. I served a short stretch with the Brooklyn Eagle, but the Eagle screams no more. All
Dead and gone. Papers come and papers go, but Burns goes on forever.
Doesn't it mean anything to you, Charlie?
Sure. A job. But paycheck is a paycheck is a paycheck. But it is not to weep and moan and gnash our teeth, my friend.
Do you think our series helped send the light down the drain?
My friend, all I know is what I write in the papers. And until somebody hangs crepe over the city desk, I just keep on turning in my copy. Come on. Are we going to work today or aren't we?
All right, Bo, you and Charlie get together and work out a line in the next piece. I want to talk to Neil for a couple of minutes.
Hey, Congressman, don't believe everything a sour old leg man tells you. I don't know much about it myself. The working stiffs are always the last to learn. You know, when INS merged with the UP, the boys on both services learned about it from the Dow Jones financial ticker. And when the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette bought out the Sun Telegraph, the wives heard it over the radio before the day shift came home from work. I can tell you who does know, though. Brian Lincoln.
We've had a firm offer, yes.
Are you going to accept it?
Conditionally, yes.
What are the conditions?
Jobs. Cliff Shaw, Burns, Schofield, Kelly, Markman, Julian.
And what did Bedford mean by that crack about 24 hours?
Just putting the screws on me. Had me over a barrel already, just giving an extra whirl.
Paper here.
We've had some weekend ad cancellation, but there has been a boomerang. Looky here. Here's lots of letters and loads of telegrams coming in from all over. Great paper. Independent journal. Terrible loss to the community. Keep the old light shining. Columbia School of Journalism. Alumni protest. There's one from a senator. Compliments and condolences be damned. Send money.
Is that all it's going to take to keep the light going, Mr. Lincoln?
What do you think I'm selling for? Wilkie buttons? I thought I had an ace in the hole. Bank loans, extension, and he pulls the rug out from under me.
What bank is that, Mr. Lincoln?
City Consolidated. Why?
May I use your phone?
Sure.
Sam Auburn and my father were very close.
Did you ever meet a banker that wasn't close?
Light's a great newspaper, always has been. I read it myself. I won't say it's my favorite. You haven't thrown many bouquets at the financial community, mostly brickbats. Still, I go along with Mr. Brock here. An independent voice is necessary, but letters, telegrams aren't enough.
Look, Sam, I'm sure the response is going to be much, much greater than this.
On the newsstands? Oh, come on, Link. Don't show me love letters. Show me circulation figures. You give me those numbers, I'll go into the board and fight for you. You're losing 10,000 readers a day, twice that number of dollars. You show me those advertising contracts. That's the main thing. Show me that you're a going concern, not just going up.
You know that ads follow circulation. Cert goes down, ads drop off. Ads drop off, fewer pages, less for your money, fewer readers. Sam? How many millions have come our way through your bank down through the years? All we're asking now is 500,000.
How long would that last you? The bank could keep on pouring millions into the light. But unless something changes, you're going to be right back where you are today.
What do you mean by changes?
Minor changes, my lad. Just the editorial policy. You steer clear of anything controversial like issues, come out real strong against the man-eating shark, come out stronger for motherhood and the flag. Minor, just turn the sheet into a comic book, a coupon clipper's paradise, turn your back on all that garbage about rats and tenements and juvenile delinquency, and let's just have some laughs. Just change everything that the paper stood for all my life.
Well, if nothing changes, you're going to end up in bankruptcy. Link. Link, will you take my advice? Sell. Why, you can get your price. Then you come out all right, and you'll have cash enough for severance pay for your people.
What about the other people? There's 600,000 people that call the Light their paper.
I told you I have no argument with you on that, young man.
Isn't that the whole argument? Don't they count for anything? Don't they have any say at all? He could have 30 days. Get some public support. I can't believe that you want to see the last independent newspaper in the city go down the drain.
No, I do not. But you have to give me the numbers to fight with. Otherwise, I'm helpless.
Mr. Lincoln, you said the bank was your last hope.
That's right.
And there's nothing Mr. Auburn can do.
It's not my money. If I had it, I'd give it to you.
And there isn't anything anybody can do.
Except write letters. It'll never be read. In a newspaper that doesn't exist.
Well, it's not all that tragic. Just made a slight mistake in identity. We've been treating journalism like a lady. Just a business. Sells herself for money. Is that the last word, Sam?
Link,
No, that won't be the last word. The last word won't come until the last independent newspaper in the country is cannibalized by some chain. Murder by merger. When that happens, gentlemen, we'll have one newspaper in every city in the United States. One opinion, one source of information, one enormous boob tube somewhere around the year 1984.
Lincoln, I'm sorry. Sir.
Can I drop you off, Charles?
Yes, thanks.
Lincoln, is there any way, am I correct in assuming there'll be some sort of announcement?
Everything will happen in the proper time, in the proper place. You might just linger about the premises.
I got some carpets.
How's it going, Neil?
Clear. Yeah, Link, just closing to the final.
This is a must. Page 1 of the fold.
This all?
Accuracy, terseness, accuracy. Could you think of anything else?
I thought you might want to read it to the staff. With this edition, the Daily Light goes into journalistic history.
City desk. Okay. Al, take Jack Johnson on 9. Jack, give it to Al and come in. I said come in.
Radcliffe.
With this edition, the Daily Light goes into journalistic history. After long and honorable service in the best tradition of independent American journalism, the Daily Light passes through sale into the ownership of the Bedford newspaper chain. We who have served the light, each in his own way. Okay, make over.
Yes, sir, or madam.
You are hereby notified that your employment by the Light Publishing Company is terminated. Final paychecks. How do you like that? 15 years on the paper, and they still don't know whether I'm a sir or a madam.
What I mean is, well, they me. I mean, you know, this was the first time, you know. But, well, I mean, the sun, the American. Do you remember Morning American? And the Mirror. I mean, you buy a paper year in and year out, and you like it. And it's got the things in it you look for. Well, some you do, some you don't, but you like it, right? And it's your paper, right? So then, one morning, or one afternoon, you go in, and you put down your money, and boom, no paper, no sun, no American, no mirror, no light. Well, I mean, nobody ever asked me. They never asked anybody. Nobody ever asked me. Ah, why should they? I'm just a lousy reader. Nobody ever asked me. Those numbers. Where do they get those numbers? Who does them, huh? Who are they? They never asked me.
Let's go upstairs. Be something to drink.
I think I'm going, John.
See you around. You know how I feel?
Yeah, how do I feel?
Empty.